You're listening to the Journey podcast. Is there a gentle yet powerful alternative in the holistic realm for women who hold the heartfelt dream of becoming mothers? Find out more in this episode. Hi, I'm Petra Brunbauer, and with decades of experience with sadness, pain, anxiety, and stress, I finally figured out how to leave all that behind. And this podcast shows you how to break free permanently so you can reclaim your sanity and find the self-esteem and energy to go after the life you desire. With real talk about mental health, holistic healing, and the tough journey of coming out the other end. This is the Journey Podcast. Welcome to today's episode. In this episode, we explore the journey of overcoming fertility challenges through a holistic lens, emphasizing the importance of nurturing the mind, body, and spirit in unison. We delve into how integrating practices such as mindfulness, nutrition, and holistic health strategies can create a supportive environment for fertility. By fostering balance and well-being across all aspects of life, we discuss the potential for enhancing fertility and the journey towards parenthood. Our guest shares her insights and personal experiences with holistic fertility, offering hope and practical advice for those navigating similar paths. We highlight the transformative power of approaching fertility from a holistic perspective, where emotional, physical, and spiritual health are seen as interconnected. Ashley Holmes is the CEO and founder of Holistic Fertility Coach, Inc. She supports women struggling with infertility by offering energy for mind, body, and spirit. By bringing alignment and balance within, it is possible to nourish yourself from the inside, creating a fertile foundation within. Here is my interview with Ashley Holmes. Hi, Ashley. It's so great to have you on the podcast today. I've been looking forward to getting to chat with you because balancing mind, body, and spirit is such an intriguing topic for today's conversation, and I think so very relevant in today's world. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here and to have this conversation.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So for starters, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about what you do and your journey on how you got to do what you're doing today?
I feel blessed that my journey chose me. And at the time, I wouldn't have thought so, but it's really come full circle that everything does happen for a reason. And I did struggle to conceive. I'm a holistic fertility coach. And over a decade ago, I went the traditional route. I used a clinic. I was very fortunate and blessed with twins finally, but it wasn't a route I would have chosen to go down or put myself through again because of the mental and emotional toll that it took on me. So I later and left feeling like I couldn't conceive on my own because of a diagnosis, which isn't really a diagnosis of unexplained infertility. And later landed on my yoga mat when my twins were quite young and really started to dive deeper and to understand that I'm more than this physical body and that there was a lot of healing and transformation that I could tune in and tap into, and was able to conceive naturally and holistically without any side effects at the age of 36, and was deemed geriatric, yet felt so much healthier and happier the whole way through, and really just sharing this wisdom and knowledge with others who may be struggling and offering that support that may not be there for them.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that journey with us. And you touched on two really important pieces, and those are the mental and emotional parts of this journey. And those parts are not only involved in the fertility journey, they are part of our daily lives, and they're also part of a lot of the stress that we go through and things that we experience every day. So how do you work with clients now, and what kind of things do you help them with?
Really, it's important to process everything that they've been through so far on their journey, because if we are just trying to continually conceive month after month and we haven't done any work and processed anything that we've experienced so far, we're not likely to get any better results. And I think that it's really a disservice in the medical world to just keep doing protocols when you may be physically able to, but are you mentally able to, emotionally, spiritually? Are you in the space and place and open and ready to receive? Or are you still in the past and reliving what happened last time? And so it's really important to honor yourself, your body, your journey, and to move from that space and place. And I think that that speaks to not only the fertility journey, but any sort of traumatic experience that you've gone through, because oftentimes we just push through, we keep going, we keep trying because we think that by trying and working harder and doing more, that then we're finally going to get the result that we desire. And it really is an opposite energy and an opposite dynamic that I bring to my clients. And it's not typically what we in the Western world are inclined to live or do. We're not taught the true brilliance of slowing down, of tuning in, of listening to our bodies and taking that space and time to focus on ourselves and to listen to the messages and signals that we get on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's an interesting point that you make there. I think we're also not really taught that to actually listen to our bodies. We are really just taught to suck it up and get through it. And so coming back to that inner voice and our own intuition and trusting that can actually be a lot of work, and it can be quite scary in the beginning to put out that sense that you are actually the expert on your own body and in your own life, and to trust that feeling. So how do you work with your clients on this journey? Is there a particular approach that you use, or how do you help them tune into that inner guidance and start balancing their lives in a holistic way?
So it's mind, body, and spirit, and it's incorporating all pieces and parts of you. So we do yoga poses and practices like yin yoga and restorative yoga and therapeutic yoga to really help heal and to bring the nervous system out of fight or flight mode into just rest and digest mode, because that's where we need to be for conception to occur. And we need to move from that place of releasing cortisol and stress hormones endlessly because we're trying so hard to make this happen, into a place of surrender and acceptance for what is in the moment. And that isn't passivity, though. And I think that's often what sort of gets missed, is that, oh, well, I'm just giving up. And it's not giving up. You are still trying, but it's a different energetic dynamic that you're bringing to it. And the sister science to yoga is Ayurveda. And so that helps to nourish yourself optimally. And it's not a fad or a trend or a diet. This is your inborn constitution, how you arrived here on this earth. So when you know what your dosha is, whether you are Vata, Pitta, or Kapha, it is going to help you move through life with more ease and balance. And you will know the things that bring you out of balance, and you will be able to course correct those things. And that is so empowering. And initially, you need a lot of guidance and support. And then you can begin to recognize these things for yourselves. And food starts to taste better. And all of these little things that we don't pay much attention to really start to show up for you. You have more energy, you're less stressed, and everything starts to feel more in alignment and more harmonious. And it just becomes returning to that state of equilibrium. And so it's not such a roller coaster ride, because it is a roller coaster ride, but how can we like hop off and find that place of calm within the struggle?
So there are actually a lot of things involved in what you just mentioned. We have a physical and spiritual side to yoga. So especially if you're talking about yin and restorative yoga, those are very involved with the physical body. You're coming into that space where you can rest and where you can heal. And then we're coming to Ayurveda, which encompasses sort of a lot of different things, right? It encompasses your body, your mind, your spirit. There's nutrition involved in that and different other parts. So how do you help your clients start on that journey? It can be very overwhelming in the beginning. Where do you start with them?
It's one thing at a time, and it's not like throw everything out the door that you've been doing so far. It's incremental shifts and changes over time and focusing on growth and not the goal. Because when we're always focused on the the baby is in the future and it doesn't allow us to be present in the now. And that's really where that struggle is for so many of us is how can we be present now and come back to this present moment, back to our breath, and really begin to recognize all these stressors that are really affecting us on a day in and day out basis and be conscious of them and choose a different energy and a different habit and a different thought pattern and begin to shift these things that aren't serving us and aren't working for us because they're showing up for a reason and they're asking us to pay attention. And that is when we can begin to shift and change things and be empowered in the process because initially I gave all my power away to the medical world. And I thought, if you can't help me, then I can't have children. And that isn't the truth. And so, really focusing and shifting that locus of control from external to internal. There are some things that aren't within your control, but we focus on the things that are within our control day in and day out.
And how do you help your clients sustain that? I think the journey can be quite long to get started with, especially if we are living a chaotic and imbalanced life. It can take quite some time to come to a state that feels more aligned, more balanced, more holistic in our bodies, mind, and spirit. So, how do you work with clients to sustain those changes that they're making? Do you provide coaching for them or you work with them sort of very intimately, or how are they kind of guided on this journey that you take them on?
Yes, they're coached bi-weekly by me, and it really is. Everything is monitored, everything is sort of tracked so that they are seeing the numbers for themselves, like scale of 1 to 10, like from beginning to end, where are you at? Because those are measurable things. And it's not something that is maybe evident externally to other people. These are internally felt transformations that you will notice and that you begin to see like this is working for me. I feel this. I can show up better for myself and everybody else in my life at work, at home, and it just creates a positive ripple effect. Therefore, you want to continue. And yes, you may fall off the wagon at holidays or during a triggering sort of event or circumstance, but that's normal. We're human, and it's okay to give ourselves grace and permission to then not completely and totally unravel, but to continue on the path in the direction that we were moving.
Yeah. Do you find that women experience difficulties with that? Is that sort of a path that does take some steps forwards and then some steps backwards, and you do kind of just need to keep working at it? Or is that something that you find flows naturally for most women?
I would say for myself and everybody, it's a daily practice. It's a daily conscious choice, right? And what am I choosing today? And maybe the day didn't begin the way I anticipated, but I can always choose how I move forward. And maybe I need to pause and take a breath. But oftentimes it's ingrained in us that no, I just need to push through. I need to keep going instead of continuing on in that manner, pause, take that time for yourself to reset and to realign and to refocus and to come back to yourself. Because whenever we are out of alignment, we're often going externally and not internally. So that's your signal to tune in and to tap in.
Yeah, that's some great advice there. Thank you for sharing that. And on your own fertility journey, when you decided to come away from sort of the traditional medical system that was available and you went a more holistic route, what were some of the things that you incorporated into your journey? So we talked about yoga and we talked about Ayurveda. Anything else that you incorporated into your life at that point that you found very useful on that journey?
One of the most beneficial things I found alongside of that, it is part of it, but is chakra balancing and realizing we have this energy body. And we actually in yoga have 5 layers of our body. They're called koshas. And to begin to have that awareness of that and to realize when I'm coming from a place of ego or coming from a place that is truly me and what honors and serves me, and knowing the difference and not responding and reacting from ego, and realizing through meditation that I could become conscious and aware of patterns and habits and begin to shift those. And, they surfaced when they were needed to and were ready to be rewired and changed. And, I've dived into Reiki and into other energy modalities that are healing and purifying and cleansing, because they're things that I do for myself daily, and I offer them to my clients because they help and they heal, and they're just something that is available to all of us if we're open to receive that energy medicine that we can embody and incorporate for ourselves.
Yeah. And how do the chakras affect our well-being? How do those tie into our physical, mental, and emotional life and wellness? How does that all come together?
So starting from the root all the way to the crown of the head are the 7 main chakras, and when they're not balanced, they're either excessive or they're deficient. So you will probably have a physical symptom that is showing up in your body when they are out of balance. So if it is your third eye chakra, which is here between your eyebrows, you may be having headaches because you're so stressed. That often shows up for people. Or if it is a throat chakra issue, you may be having issues with your voice and speaking your truth and holding your words in to people please and things like that. And it's just the awareness of these things and being conscious of that, because anything that is showing up physically is a result of an imbalance within.
And do you find that once these imbalances are balanced again, once they are worked on and the alignment and flow is restored, does that change things in people's lives? Does it change in their physical bodies? Does that change how they show up in life? What kind of transformations have you seen?
It's really this glow from the inside out, yet it's something that needs to be continually worked upon. And it's not a one and done thing, because I've had clients say, but I thought I worked on this already. And I say, you've released a layer of that, but we're still releasing the layers. There is an impression in your mind. And so when you're triggered by something, you're having this emotional response or reaction to a current event. Then we are like a lotus flower or an onion, we're peeling back the layers of this. And that is what healing is. It's not I am healed, it's I am healing. And it's a process, and it's not something that's quick, easy, fast acting, but you will notice that the work is worth it and you are worth it. And it's worth diving into these deeper layers for your own health and well being, knowing that that is affecting you. It's going to affect the child that you bring into this world and the family that you create.
Yeah. And how did you find all of this information? Because you first started with a very traditional approach at a clinic. So, how did you come across the information that made you say, oh, I'd like to try a different approach? And where did you start with that? How did you know where to start?
I just followed my intuition. And, initially I was, because I am a Pitta, that's my Ayurvedic constitution. So that's fire and water energy. So I was drawn to hot yoga and I thought I would never give up hot yoga. But in actuality, hot yoga puts me out of balance because that's adding more heat to my system. And I don't need more heat in my system because I already run hot. So it's really just fine tuning things. Yes, I can still do yoga on a day in and day out basis, but I don't practice hot yoga anymore. And I gave that up when I thought I would never stop doing hot yoga. I just love the heat. And it really is, what initially drew me to hot yoga was the energetics, was the purification, was how I felt when I left the room, because I always felt better after I got off my mat. And it's like I can still get on my mat wherever I am, or if I'm at the beach, or if I'm camping and I do it under a tree, I can always have that within me, and it doesn't have to come from outside of me. And I think that's where real transformation sort of occurs, is that I can take this knowledge and these practices and I can give that to myself whenever I need it, where I need it, to help myself in the current situation. And diving into just teaching different forms of yoga was initially how it started, not knowing that lying on a bolster was going to do so much for me, to slow down, to listen to my body, to be able to sit in discomfort, because I never wanted to sit in discomfort. I never wanted to feel my feelings because they weren't pleasant. But I learned to be able to breathe through all of those things and to welcome them instead of resisting them. And that is a practice. And it's not something that comes innately to most of us. It's something that we have to learn and move through, and to work on the issues in my tissues, and to realize I was storing and housing things energetically in my body that were asking to be moved and shifted because they weren't serving me anymore, and to let it go, and not just to say to let it go, to actually embody that and to truly understand what it means to let go.
Hmm. So, if you could give women out there who may be struggling with their fertility a piece of advice from what you have gone through, what your journey was like, what is one of the most important things that you took away by moving towards a more holistic path? Anything that stands out for you?
Embracing support, embracing an open mind, and embracing community, because we're not meant to do this alone. But going through infertility the first time around, nobody knew. I didn't share it with anybody. I felt very alone and isolated, and I would just leave work to go to appointments, hoping and praying that nobody found out, nobody asked any questions, because there was a lot of shame and guilt that I felt because I didn't feel like I was as womanly, or there's a lot of judgment and sort of self-criticism that we can have, and it's really just loving yourself unconditionally, regardless of whether you're conceiving or not conceiving in the moment. And that truly was a journey of how can I love myself always and not conditioned on a result, you know and how can I just create that space for myself, because we're so good at giving that to others, and we often need support to do that for ourselves.
Yeah, it sounds like very often we are just our own worst critic when it comes to those things. And is that very common that women going through this journey have a lot of support, or does it happen that they don't have any support and they feel quite isolated and alone because they don't have anyone to share this with? I mean, it could be difficult even for their partner to understand what they're going through. So, what do you find with your clients? How does the support play out in this journey?
I often find most women feel alone because oftentimes their partner isn't experiencing what they are experiencing. Therefore, they can't support them in the manner that they wish and would like to be supported. And personally, I did that to my own husband. I wanted him to be my everything and anything, yet he was in it with me. So that's not a fair expectation to have on your partner at that time. And I think we do that because we just want somebody to be there for us and to be able to hold space for us through all the tears and all of the things. And women have come to me saying, can you fix me? I feel broken, and those types of things. And it's really just also changing your relationship with yourself and the chatter that is going on in your mind, and becoming conscious and aware of that, because oftentimes we're thinking the same thoughts day in and day out. They often are negative. And how can we begin to notice those? I always used to, when I was doing laundry, that's when I would go unconscious. And that's when I would just have all of these things and living in the past, or this should have happened, or I should have said this, or whatever the case may be. Then, so it was just becoming conscious and aware of that was my habit and pattern. And now I don't go in the laundry room and do that anymore, because I know that's where I would just be like, and retreat to old ways of being.
Yeah, it sounds like that can be very difficult, even on a partnership or a marriage, when one person physically is going through that and the other person, unfortunately, isn't in that exact same place. So, yeah, that is a very good thing to touch on. Now, you work with clients directly on their fertility journeys. So, let us know about some of the programs and services that you offer so listeners can get an idea of how they could work with you.
I would love to share that I have a holistic fertility coach Facebook group that you are welcome to join if you are currently struggling at this time and moment, or it's 1 in 6 women struggling. So if it's not you, it's someone in your world, unfortunately, no matter where you are in the world. And so just letting people know that there's support, there are resources out there is so instrumental in allowing us to make these shifts and changes and to support all the people that need support, because 15 million people worldwide is a lot of people. And if you are looking for health and wellness to help with stress or your mental well-being, I offer yoga classes and meditations on Vibly. That's Vibly, and it's a health and wellness platform. You can try any of my classes or meditations for free. And if you think that you can't meditate, or you've tried meditation, you can't stick to a meditation practice, then I welcome you to try Yoga Nidra. It is a form of meditation that is so powerful in that 20 minutes of this meditation is equivalent to 4 hours of sleep. So, or if you're someone who is suffering with insomnia or sleep deprivation because you are a new mom, it is the perfect meditation and place to start, because you can't do it wrong. So I welcome you to that, because there are so many barriers that I hear, and I'm here to myth bust that you can meditate. It doesn't have to look like, be like what you think in your mind that it needs to be. You just need to be conscious and aware of the thoughts. You don't need to change them. You don't have to have no thoughts. That's not possible. So it's just being present and allowing what surfaces to arise.
Yeah. And can clients work one-on-one with you as well?
Yes. You are always welcome to contact me to go into one-to-one programs with me if you are seeking support and you're ready to take a customized approach that suits you and helps you with where you're at, and to move forward from there. It's a 4-month program, and you can renew monthly thereafter until you are pregnant, or if you want to be seen through the first trimester, if you've experienced miscarriages, then sometimes that it's open to help you and to serve you until you're like, I've got this, I feel better in my mind, body, and spirit. And I'm only an email or a call away if and when crisis averts.
Amazing. Thank you for that. And we will be linking to all of Ashley's offerings in the show notes as well. So be sure to check there for how you can connect with her, how you can join the Facebook group or work with her if you'd like to have a more personalized approach to your own fertility journey. Well, this has been another incredible episode, and I really hope our listeners have enjoyed our journey into balancing mind, body, and spirit as much as I have. It has been a pleasure chatting with you today on the podcast, Ashley. Thank you so much for bringing your wisdom and knowledge to our conversation, and thanks for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor and a pleasure.
Thanks, Ashley, and take care.
You too.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to listen in. If you enjoy the Journey podcast, please support us by subscribing, sharing on social media, and leaving us a review. We appreciate you. And you can find more of The Journey on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and our website, thejourney.com. Sending you love and courage, and see you next time.